Psych Perspectives, GeoFox. Again, with what resources? Right? Because, like, I already have a full-time job. I'm already doing a part-time job. I'm already doing side hustles. I'm already trying to start a business. I've already cut back tremendously. Like, the t-shirt that I'm wearing is I bought this in October of 2022. It is August of 2023. The pants that I'm wearing are what, 5, 6, 7 years old? The newest thing I have on are my dress shoes from February 2023. So even those are 6 months ago. You know what I'm saying? And I bought them on sale. So it's like, when they're constantly talking about millennials and Gen Z, and like, oh, well, you need to stop spending money on blah, blah, blah. And it's like, what are we spending money on? We're working, we're paying bills, and we're made to feel guilty for buying clothes that we have to wear to go to work. Because at my particular job, you have to dress business casual or business professional, even though we're not paid like business professionals. You know, it's ridiculous. You're made to feel guilty about getting a haircut. You know, and I get my haircut anywhere between every 2 weeks to once a month. And a lot of times it's once a month, because it's like, I can't in good conscience justify spending $35 every 2 weeks for a haircut. And then if you're giving a tip, $40, $45, I can't in good conscience justify that. So I typically go once a month, because it's just not like that. $40, $45 could be going to gas, could be going to food, could be going to savings and getting out of debt. Like, that's how I think about things. So I don't even participate in that half the damn time. Not the way I should be doing. You know, I was going to do every 2 weeks. Now it's once a month. And really, it could be every week if things were reasonably priced and our wages and salaries reflected that. But it don't. And again, how in the hell do we go from haircuts being $20, you know, in 2020 to $45 in 2023? And yet, we basically have had a $25 increase, but has your income, has your pay, has your salary, has your wages had an increase? No, you're still making the same money. So it's just, again, a lot of us are fed up, right? And again, there's only so much budgeting and savings a person is going to be able to do before they simply need to earn more money. You know, you can't really budget your way out of poverty. And a lot of folks need to really start talking about that and understanding that. Because, again, I basically need to be making double to triple what I'm making to get out of debt, to actually be able to save adequately, to actually not have to live check to check if I'm basing it solely off of my full-time job. And then again, a lot of us have families. You know, people have children, people have parents and siblings and dependents. So again, you're not making money solely for yourself. You have other people that you're providing for and caring for that are also depending on your income. So it really becomes, you know, at this point, it's really becoming unbearable for a lot of people to be able to provide for themselves and their families. And it's been like this for quite some time. You know, what I'm talking about is nothing new under the sun, unfortunately. So yeah, you know, and then what's happening to a lot of us is that, like, case in point, I'll get paid on the 18th on a Friday, bi-weekly, every 2 weeks. And literally by the following Monday, the 21st, I'm basically going to be tapped out broke if I'm basing it solely off of my full-time job. Because I'm very transparent, you know me. So every 2 weeks, I make a payment on my car payment, on my car insurance, because $441, I'd be like, okay, $221, My car insurance is $132. So, you know, I'm $65, $70 goes right to that. We got water bill that's due. I think that's like $172. Cell phone, that's $161. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then I'm only getting, you know, $1,199 to $1,200 basically every 2 weeks. So it's like I'm losing well over 30% of my income within a day from paying bills. And then we're supposed to make that last for 2 weeks, and we're supposed to invest and save, and we're also supposed to be consumers. Like, where and how are we going to do any of that with today's wages and salaries? Hence why I have a part-time, I have a side hustle, I'm doing businesses, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm cutting back, I'm cutting this off, you know what I mean? And then the stuff that they want us to cut back on, because, you know, again, I feel like a lot of people who want us to cut back on things they're not with the times, okay? They're not really relevant. And what I mean by that is, they'll be like, well, you can cut back on internet. No, you can't. Again, a lot of our jobs require us to have access to internet. So how am I going to be checking emails and responding back to clients if I don't have the internet? So the stuff that you want us to cut back on, we really can't. And it's the same thing with our cell phones. We can't really cut back on our cell phones. We have to have that in order for us to work. So a lot of the stuff that baby boomers keep telling Gen X to millennials to Gen Z to cut back on, we don't have the freedoms and privileges to cut back on. Right? So it really is becoming a situation of, you know, and then now gas is back to being $3.99 a gallon in my area. So thankfully, the car that I'm driving gets 30 miles to the gallon, so I can still get away with, you know, if I'm on half a tank, I can put $25 in and go back to full. Sometimes a little under half a tank, and I can put $25 in and go back to being full. You know what I'm saying? But everybody doesn't have that, you know, depending on your vehicle. So, you know, and then you've got your utility bills, you know, heating, electric, air, whatever you use, you know. So it's just like, and then mind you still have to eat food. You still, you know what I mean? You've got kids, you got dogs, you got cats, you got pets, whatever. You still have other outside responsibilities that have to be taken care of and tended to. So a lot of us are going to be looking at our budgets and trying to figure out exactly where this extra money for student loans is going to be coming in, and where can we cut even more out. We already don't really have a quality of life because every damn day we're working. And then like I had people like, oh, but we see your social media and blah, blah. Yeah, I'm going to events that I'm marketing and promoting for work. So even when I'm out and about, I'm not really out and about having fun. I'm literally working. So it's like, again, we're working from sun up to sundown to be broke. And people act like us venting about what we're going through is us just nagging and complaining and being negative. And it's like, so we're just not supposed to ever talk about the elephants in the room then? Because... And then, like somebody else brought up on TikTok, it's very frustrating because you will look on social media and see people younger than you, your age, and a little older than you, balling out of this world, going on these elaborate trips, buying all of these fancy items, and then you're looking at yourself like, well, where did I go wrong? What am I doing wrong? And like, why can't I afford to go and do A, B, and C, or buy A, B, and C? So then again, a lot of people are going on social media and essentially having their self-esteem destroyed, their sense of self destroyed, because, you know, why is it that such and such can go to Bali and go on a vacation, but you can't even barely afford to go camping? You know what I'm saying? And that happens a lot because of social media. And that's another thing, is there are people who are out here doing very well financially, economically. There are people out here who degrees truly did have a return on investment, right? Like, they're doing well. And then there's people, but that's just it. There's more people not doing well. There's more people whose degrees have yet to return on investment. And a lot of us are falling in the not versus the have, right? And it's just becoming a situation of it's a dire situation. And I really think it's abysmal how our federal government in the USA, and I'm gonna say it, I'm tired. I don't, whether it's a Democrat or a Republican or third party, the point is, it really seems like the government on the federal level in the USA is out of touch with reality with the vast majority of their constituents. Because again, we're sitting up here arguing about who can go to the bathroom. We're sitting up here arguing about who can have an abortion. We're sitting up here arguing about, minute things. Meanwhile, the vast majority of your constituents are living check to check and are facing homelessness, currently homeless, don't know when they're going to eat, don't know how they're going to keep afloat, but you're worried about who can go in and out of a fucking bathroom. And that's why I'm like, what is going on? We're, our constituents, aka us, the voters, the people, the taxpayers, when are our needs going to be addressed? They're not, because we're worried about superficial shit that doesn't really matter. And then arguably the Republican Party, in my opinion, why are you so concerned about people's private fucking lives? You want to tell us what sex we are, what gender we are, what sexuality we can have, who we can have sex with, who can give birth, who cannot give birth. You're so concerned about personal things that have this should be none of the government's business. Again, coming from the party that screams that they're about small government, yet they're always overly involved in individual people's lives, in our personal lives. How is that small government, you telling me that I can or cannot go to the fucking bathroom? But you can't address student loans. You can't address living wages. You can't address housing and infrastructure, but you can tell us about somebody getting married or not. So it's just a lot of confusion. And then on the Democrats, federally, notice I keep saying federally, because in my state, the Democrats are kicking ass, but that's because we have the majority. Hence why we're able to get things done. But federally, it's like the Democrats are lagging behind, falling short on their campaign promises, backpedaling and throwing their constituents under the bus in order to save face with the Republican Party that doesn't want to work with them federally. So I just don't get that either. Like, what are we doing? But yeah, this is just like, again, a reflection video, because I totally get where people are coming from. I see the comments, I see the requests, I see the tweets, I see the DMs. I get it. I am with you, okay? We deserve better across the board. It makes no sense. It is 2023 and our federal minimum wage is still $7.25 an hour from fucking 2009, 14 years ago. It's ridiculous.